All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Are you ready to plan your next adventure? Well, today we're going to dive into the ultimate 3-day Paris itinerary packed with must-see sights, hidden gems, and tips to make the most of every moment. From iconic landmarks like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre to charming hidden streets and must-try cafes, we've got all the tips to make your Paris trip unforgettable. Let's start with the morning. Now start your trip by visiting arguably the most famous landmark in all of Paris, the Eiffel Tower. Aim to arrive there early in the morning so you avoid the long lines that gather around this iconic structure. Situated right next to the River Seine, this landmark amasses over 7 million tourists annually. The Eiffel Tower took over 2 years to construct, with the work being finished on March 31st of 1889. Standing at a whopping 330 meters tall, this makes it the largest structure in Paris. Prices for the Eiffel Tower can vary depending on which floor you want to visit. Tickets to access the second floor via a lift will cost you about €14. To gain access to the top of the tower, which is highly recommended if you're going to go up there, will cost you around €35. You should pre-book skip-the-line tickets to avoid the long queues. The summit offers stunning views of the city of Paris, which is perfect for taking photos of what Paris looks like from above. There are multiple different levels, so take time to view them all. Once you go back down, take a stroll through the beautiful Champs-Elysées, which is a large public green space next to the Eiffel Tower. After, take a stroll along the Seine toward Pont Alexandre III, which is widely considered the most beautiful bridge in Paris. This walk should take you around 25 minutes, giving you opportunities to stop and take photos of the Eiffel Tower from a different angle. Pont Alexandre III is one of the many bridges that connect different parts of Paris together with the River Seine running underneath. Now, this bridge is famously known for its stunning architecture and location, connecting the Champs-Elysées quarter and the Eiffel Tower. A short 15-minute walk heading into the Champs-Elysées quarter is the viral French restaurant Le Relais d'Entrecôte. Now, there are no bookings in this restaurant as they operate on a first-come, first-served basis. They open for lunch around 12 to 2:30 p.m., and only items on the menu are steak entrecôte with fries, which is covered in their famous sauce. Queues for this place can build up quickly, so it's recommended to arrive early and avoid disappointment of missing out. Now, in the afternoon, once you finish lunch, head further up the Champs-Elysées toward the Arc de Triomphe. This structure was finished in 1836 and was built to honor those who fought and died for France during the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars. It costs €13 to enter inside the historic building, with under 18s gaining access for free. Once you arrive inside, climb to the top and take in the breathtaking 360-degree view of Paris, where you can see the Eiffel Tower and Champs-Elysées. After you've admired the views from the top, take a nice stroll down the world-famous Champs-Elysées, known for its high-end boutiques, flagship stores, and charming cafes. If you're a fashion lover, then detour to Avenue Montaigne, lined with luxury boutiques like Chanel, Dior, and Louis Vuitton. But even if you're just window shopping, it's definitely worth the visit. Now, to end your first night in Paris, head back to the Arc de Triomphe and jump on the metro and travel 7 stops down to Blanche, which is a 2-minute walk away from the famous Moulin Rouge. Actually, if you want a drink, stop at Le Chat Noir, which is very, very close to the Moulin Rouge. Believe me, I go there all the time. You will not regret it. Now, once you arrive there, you'll be greeted by the iconic Red Windmill. The cabaret show starts at either 9 or 11 p.m. and lasts for a couple of hours. Ticket prices are fairly expensive, coming in at around €150 depending on the time of the year. By balancing must-see landmarks with immersive local experiences, this first day lets you fall in love with Paris while setting a relaxed and enjoyable pace for the rest of your trip. Here's a travel tip. The metro is a fast and economical way to get around Paris. With 16 different lines and over 300 stations, the services run from 6 a.m. until about 12:45 every morning. But they also extend until 1:45 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. You can purchase a 3-day Metro Pass or a Navigo card for around €30 for adults and $15 for kids. This also can give you access to other forms of public transport in Paris, which include the tram, the bus, the RER, or RER in English, and train. Now, taxis and Ubers are also available in Paris, but these can get a little expensive. Now, taking your time and walking through Paris is the best way to get around, as you get to see it in all of its beauty, as there are many hidden gems that you might miss while traveling on public transport. The best time to visit Paris is all dependent on whether you want to avoid the crowds, enjoy the glorious sunshine, or maybe you're looking for a more romantic experience. April and October are the quietest times to visit. Between the months of July and August is when the weather is the best, but this also is the most expensive time to visit. December is the most romantic time of year as it's full of Christmas festivities. This is also one of the cheaper months due to the harsh weather conditions that Paris faces during the winter months. Day 2. Let's start day 2 off by visiting the Notre Dame Cathedral. The cathedral was constructed between the 12th and 14th centuries, and it's borne witness to countless historical events, wars, and revolutions. The cathedral's breathtaking stained glass windows, elaborate stone carvings, and soaring spires, which reach heights over 100 meters, have captivated millions of people worldwide. Unfortunately, in April of 2019, a devastating fire blazed through the cathedral, causing extensive damage to the building, including the destruction of its roof and its iconic spire. Though the interior is still undergoing restoration, it's expected to be open in December of 2024, but it's still worth a trip to see the exterior. A 5-minute walk across the Seine is the Latin Quarter, which is known for its medieval architecture, and the Sorbonne University. This is the perfect place to grab a coffee and pastry out of one of the many cafes in this area. You can take a private guided walking tour around the Latin Quarter, which can take about 2 hours and costs €150. Now, with this guide, you'll get to experience what medieval Paris used to be like when it was first constructed back in the 1st century BC. It wasn't even called Paris back then, it was called Lutetia. This is one of the oldest areas in all of Paris. Jump in a taxi then the afternoon or get on the metro and head to the Catacombs, which is in the southern region of Paris. The Catacombs are a large network of tunnels that stretch over 200 kilometers under the city and reach up to depths of 20 meters underground. It's been open to the public since 1809, and it's estimated to be the home of over 6 million Parisian bodies that were moved there during a public health problem, which led to the cemeteries being unable to cope with all of the demand. Tickets are priced at about €10 per person. You can only book tickets online, and these can only be purchased 7 days in advance. Now, that evening, the most perfect way to end your second night in Paris is on the Seine with a night cruise. Now, there are a few different cruises that you can take to end your second night in Paris, but the ones that I would suggest would be either the 1-hour evening river cruise, which costs about €20 or so, or you can do the more expensive option, which is a 4-course dinner cruise with live music. Now, this comes in at a price of around €120 and starts at the Port de la Conférence. It passes many different locations on the way down the river, such as Pont Alexandre III, Louvre Museum, Notre Dame Cathedral, and the Eiffel Tower. This tour takes 2.5 hours, and it drops you back off at Port de la Conférence. Once back on land, take a short walk back across to the Eiffel Tower, so you can see it lit up at night, which is a must-see. Now, especially wait until the top of the hour. If you stop and wait for the top of the hour, the Eiffel Tower actually sparkles and shines. It's certainly something you're going to want to catch. Now, here's an airport tip. The main airport in Paris is the Charles de Gaulle Airport, or Roissy, and it's located northeast of Paris. The best way to get from the airport to the city center is via train. The Air or RER-B train runs directly from Charles de Gaulle to Gare du Nord. It takes about 25 minutes and is priced at around €12. This is the cheapest and fastest way to get to the heart of the city. You can also take a taxi or Uber from CDG to Paris, and the price that you can expect to pay is between €50 to €60, which is also dependent on the route taken and the exact destination in Paris. Expect to pay more at peak traffic times, as Paris is known for its chaotic traffic jams. Now let's talk about day 3. In the morning, you can start your final day by going to a local French cafe and indulge in the fresh pastries that Paris is known worldwide for. You can find cafes situated all across Paris. Once you fuel up for the day, head across to the Louvre. Now, this place is home to some of the most famous paintings and art sculptures in the world. With the museum being founded in 1793, it's one of Paris's oldest attractions. It's also the most visited attraction in all of Paris, seeing over 8.9 million visitors through its doors each year. Now, entry to the Louvre will cost around €22, but it is totally worth it. It's advised to only purchase tickets through legitimate ticket-selling websites. It opens at 9 a.m., and the queues can quickly build up. But there is a secret way into it that not many people know about. To get to this, head toward the Arc de Triomphe du Carousel, which is not to be confused with the Arc de Triomphe that you visited on the first day. When you get there, you'll see a set of steps with the writing Le Carrousel du Louvre on it. Now, take those steps, and it'll lead you right to the entrance, skipping past the long line. Now, plan for a few hours to explore the many rooms that the Louvre has to offer. It's home to over 33,000 different pieces of art and is home to arguably the most famous piece of art ever created, the Mona Lisa. Now, this piece of art was painted by Leonardo da Vinci and was painted sometime between 1503 and 1519, and it was moved to the Louvre in 1804. Now, once you've finished in the Louvre, catch a metro from the station, which is located right outside, and head to the Promenade Plantée, which is a hidden gem located in the southern part of Paris. This is an elevated park built on an abandoned railway, which is the perfect way to escape the busy city and wind down on your last day in Paris. It extends approximately 4.5 kilometers and was the first ever elevated park constructed in the world. It's also free to roam around the park, so no fees are going to be required. In the evening, spend your final night in Paris by visiting the Michelin star restaurant Granit. Located next to the Louvre Museum, this is a perfect restaurant to end your 3-day trip in Paris. It's advised to pre-book in advance, so you won't be disappointed on missing out on a reservation. And that's it, c'est fini. If you want to learn more about how to spend 4 days in New York, then be sure to click on this next video, and don't forget to subscribe. A bientôt!